Luke, how are you, sir?
Doing good.
All right.
Eating good.
Eating good?
Good.
What's on the what are you eating today? What's on the docket?
I'm eating weights. Lots of weights. Been lifting pretty heavy 3 days a week, and so that's what I'm eating. I'm eating weights.
You know what someone told me, I think it's true. Cardio training does nothing in terms of injury prevention. Strength training does. But if you're killing yourself to make middleweight, you can't really, yes, you were in shape, but you couldn't really do a lot to preserve your body in the process. Do you believe that strength training will limit the amount of injuries you have at light heavyweight?
I think not cutting weight. I think getting my body fat down to so low, and your body just becomes brittle the last stages of camp and start to fall apart. And so, yeah, having the extra strength, the muscle tissue to support everything, it's going to be a big part, no doubt. It feels good. I mean, last few fights, I've just, last couple especially, just it took everything out of me. My last one, I've never, as you get older, your body matures, your muscle gets denser, your bones get denser, and it's just harder to make the weight. So naturally, it's time.
Has it affected your mood to go up to 205?
It feels damn good. I'll tell you that. I wasn't able to eat much of anything last couple camps, and my body's absorbing everything. So it feels good. I'm 225 pounds right now, and I feel just the same. Athletically and movement, everything's still there. Just a whole lot more power.
Now, you had mentioned you were lifting weights. I'm wondering in what capacity, right? Because you still had some other injuries that prevented you from competing more recently. Can you give us a health update?
I'm feeling good. I'm just getting by. The knee was a little more than I expected, and the shin, obviously, on the other leg too. So I had a PCL and an ACL, small tear, like two small tears in each, and I've got stem cells in my shin wound, and we're on track. The shin's completely healed finally. There's still something, I'm sure, underneath, but I'm training. Nothing's leaking. That's the key. It's been a big issue. So I'm training. Everything's there. All my kicks are there. My wrestling's back, and I'm just putting in the work now. Finally.
Now, are you in California or are you in Florida? Where are you right now?
I'm in Florida. This is where the best training I can get right now is. So I'm here.
How is Florida?
Florida's hot.
Is that it? Is there are there fun people to talk to?
Florida,
how's Florida?
It ain't California. But sometimes you got to sacrifice and get to get where you want to be. And I got a great crew of guys here. I don't doubt myself in what I did. The team is awesome, and I wouldn't look back. I go back and I see what's there, and I love AK, but it's not the type of guys I need to work with. There's a lot of high end competition here in my weight class and my guys, and so guys that push me, every day, and it's just there's not the everyday training you need. I can get back there and everything else that complements what I'm doing here. There's the strength training, and everything else. It's a great crew, guys.
In a perfect world, which is not the one we live in, but in a perfect world, when do you think you'll be back?
We're talking, it just depends on what the matchups are. Like I said, I was shooting for late March. We're looking like early April now. It just depends on what opponents fall where they may. I know Jon's really wanted another fight really quick for some reason. So he somehow got this Anthony Smith fight. So we'll see. I know that a couple of the other top guys are matched up, and I think Thiago Santos and Jan Blagojevich, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see where, one of these. Corey Anderson looked decent the other night too. So I'm looking for a top guy.
Is a first quarter, so a January, February, March timeline for a return too early for you?
Yeah. I'm just getting into full training now, so I'm obviously moving up to light heavyweight. I want to adjust to the weight. My weight's just getting up there. My strength's getting up there, and so I'm going to get my body in line. I got to some ground to make up for. I wasn't able to fully train and do everything. So I want to get where I want to be, and that's going to be at the end of March and potentially April.
Now you're 225 now. What's the highest you ever got? Like, how did you maintain your walking around weight for 185? Because 225 to 205, that seems pretty doable. Were you at 225 to go to 185?
No, I've never been 225. I've probably been 217, like fat. I've never lifted weights and tried to like actually bulk up and replenish and do my thing. So this is my first stretch into that, and it feels good. It's making a big difference. I'm working with Mike Barwis, and it's been big, man. I can feel every bit of it, every pound. I'm throwing people around, and I'm excited to get in there and test these guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it like now with a bit of the extra heft? And if you get the right kind of heft in the training environment, what are you mentioned you're throwing people around in training. What other benefits have you noticed from it?
There's just a little more everywhere. Realistically, it's the weight cut getting down to a certain point at 85. It just takes everything out of me. It takes my power away when I start getting below that 205 mark, and then obviously the weight cut. You can feel a big difference there. Here is just a little extra everything. So I'm gonna be just fine where I'm at, and you're gonna see a lot more of it.
Size up light heavyweight for me.
Amplified.
Size up light heavyweight for me. How much of a new lease on a possibility of getting a title do you feel like you have? Do you really think that light heavyweight is there for the taking?
Yes.
More, give me a sense of other than. Here's what I'm wondering. At 185,
Anthony Smith just got a title shot. Anthony Smith just got a title shot. He couldn't sniff a top 10 at middleweight.
Now, how much of that though is a function of him also being depleted? Because you mentioned you were so depleted as well.
Yeah, but I still made up for it with skill and what I do here. So you're gonna give me the strength, give me this behind me, and watch what I'm about to do. These guys, it's going to be fun.
Give me a sense of what kind of chance you think he has against Jones.
None. It'll be over in less than a round, pro.
Wow.
That's why I don't understand why they make this fight.
Do you think that when you get a chance, I'll just say it plainly, do you think you're the best guy to potentially face Jon Jones at 205?
I don't see anybody else challenging.
So let's see. You've got Corey Anderson up there. How long does he last against Jon Jones?
He could last a few rounds, maybe.
Yeah, and then of course,
I think Jan's probably one of the toughest guys there. I'd say, like, just a tough, durable guy, and not very skilled in so many ways, but durable.
Now, you mentioned you don't understand why Anthony Smith got a title shot, but what do you mean by that? Like overall ability? Because you beat two legends, and then you beat Volkan Oezdemir, who's no walk in the park. It seems like not an unreasonable title shot to give, even if the odds makers think it's unpredictable, or rather predictable. Excuse me.
Yeah. What are the odds? Show me what the odds are.
He's minus 600.
That's a favorable odd. I'm just being real with you. Hey, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, So enjoy. I'm sure it'll be an enjoyable fight.
Let me get your sense on what a fight between Jones and DC might look like at heavyweight, because we saw DC at heavyweight against Stipe. Unbelievable power, right?
Jones doesn't want that fight.
Why?
Jones does not want to fight with DC at heavyweight. He doesn't want to give him any advantages. He's obviously taken what he can to build his confidence to fight him at light heavyweight. So we all know he's tested dirty twice in a row now. Wait, 3 times? I don't know what it is, but picograms, whatever the hell they are. He's obviously compensating, trying to do something to build himself up. DC at heavyweight is a much more dangerous fighter. He's looser. He's moving people. I've seen him in the gym. Jones picked his words wisely on the mic on trying to bait DC to come back down and manipulate him back down to light heavyweight. Jones walks around at 240. DC walks around at 240. fight where you are. Fight where you naturally are. You're the baddest man on the planet. Stop trying to pick off guys like Anthony Smith, and stop talking about DC champ. Go up and fight the champ where he's at, where he is the baddest man on the planet. That's if you want to talk about it, go up there and fight him. Otherwise, stay where you're at, and I'll come to you.
What did you make of that whole episode with USADA? I know you've been sort of an outspoken proponent of them, but a lot of people have been turned off. Where do you come down on that?
On what? What are they doing? They're doing nothing. So I don't know.
How often have you been tested?
I've been tested a lot more in California. I've done. I think every test I did in California was urine and blood samples. Every test I've done here in Florida has only been urine, which is kind of disappointing. It's kind of weird how that all falls, but obviously people are learning how to beat the system, and then the system's not even working in even at that.
So what do you say to yourself? Do you even care at this point?
I'm just going to get strong. I'm not going to compromise myself, weaken myself, and fight guys that are maximizing their potential. I just don't have it in me to stoop to those levels. I'm gonna build up. I'm gonna bulk up. I'm gonna get stronger, and I'm gonna do what I do. So, whatever. I'm ready.
Now, you had mentioned a few names at light heavyweight. One name you did not mention, at least not right now, and for obvious reasons, I suppose, was Alexander Gustafsson. Do you have no interest in a fight with him, or because he just lost, who cares, or where do you come down on that?
Alex is decent. I mean, he's obviously got some holes in his game on the ground, and we'll see where it lies. We'll see where he falls back in and what the UFC wants to do. So I want to fight some guy who's on his way to the title and make a statement.
When this year is over, sorry, go ahead. I mean to cut you off.
But it just depends on what falls. I mean, there's a few options. I know we're talking to the UFC, and we'll see what falls on the right date. I'm looking for one fight to put me where I need to be.
So it's January 7th, 2019. January 7th, 2020. What are the headlines going to be about you?
2020?
Yeah. Well, what year is it? 2019? Yes. So this year, this day, 1 year forward.
I'll probably be like heavyweight champion by then.
Just up there collecting belts, huh?
I'm just moving up. Yeah.
Hey, before you go, this might sound like a totally ignorant question, which if it is, feel free to tell me because I don't know anything. Is there surfing in Florida?
Not unless you got a jet ski. Which I actually do. Which I do.
So what do? You just don't surf until you go back to California?
I focus on what I'm doing here. I'm training, I'm lifting, I'm focused on fighting. This is what I'm doing. I got a boat, I got a jet ski, I can get out. I can go fish. I like to go out in the Bahamas and go spearfish. That's my new thing out here.
All right. Well, look, stay safe, bulk up. If you do any amazing lifts, put them on Instagram so we can watch. And we can't wait to see you in the cage, man. We're looking forward to a 225 Luke Rockhold, or 205 Luke Rockhold on weigh-in day, I suppose. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, looking forward to it.